Excited to get the season started. We're really excited about the group that we have, and with the new rules, we get a chance to spend a lot of time with them in the summer. And we've got a competitive group of guys, some experience back. Lost to Rod Hall and DeMarcus, obviously hurt with the experience that they brought to the table, but got guys back that did a lot of really good things last year and added some pieces that we feel like are going to help right away. So definitely excited about this year's season.
We've already talked a lot about some of the veterans who have been around for a few years, but what does Dante have to do to take that next step and take his team to the next step?
DG is unbelievably talented. I mean, he really is, with his size, his skill set, his IQ. The next step for Dante is going to be being more consistent. Last year, you saw the Syracuse game. He's already the best player on the court. And then we had games where he would get off to great starts and kind of fade away as the game went on. I do think this year, he's going to eliminate those dips in his game. I think this summer was huge for him. This fall, he's been great. Yesterday in the inter-squad scrimmage, he was all around really good. Not only scoring the ball, but he's added a physical dimension as far as rebounding and defending that he didn't have last year. So I think we'll definitely see that next step from him, and it's a huge key for our team.
Have you seen a little bit of more consistency with his three-point shooting as well?
He is shooting the ball a lot better. He's putting in extra time. And that's the thing about our program that, kind of separates us from others, I think, is the work ethic. Coach Brownell has instilled a culture of work, and our guys understand that, we're a little bit less talented than some teams in the league on paper especially, but they spend a lot of time in the gym, and DG's a guy that he's lived in the gym, and I definitely can see him being an upper 30% three-point shooter, high 30s.
Is there a number scoring-wise you'd like to see him get to?
I think it depends, I think last year he averaged around 8.8, somewhere in there. I think he needs to take that next step. I mean, it would be nice to get as many points as we can from him, and I think he is going to. You'll definitely see a big jump in points, I would think. But he's a guy, his effect on the game isn't, scoring helps. If he scores 20 every night, it would be huge for our team. But he affects the game in so many different ways. He's probably our best passer. He has an ability to see over top of the defense and get other guys involved. I think that's just as important as him scoring the ball.
Why do you think he had some of those deals last year, just freshman, being a freshman?
I do. I think it's extremely hard for a freshman to come in and be a huge impact, especially the situation that he was thrown into with us losing an NBA guy a year early, and KJ, who was a first-team All-ACC guy, Defensive Player of the Year. And Dante comes in as he's expected to, not do what KJ did, but, be consistently an impact guy for us. And as a freshman, it's hard. It's really hard. It gives a new respect for some of these one-and-done guys that come in and are just unbelievable from the start. But I thought DG was great as a freshman. And I think, like I said, this sophomore year could be really special for him.
How is Avery's speed and ability to get to the rim going to change things for this team? Offensively, schematically?
Avery adds a different dimension to their team from an offensive standpoint for sure. His ability to make plays scoring the ball is going to be huge for us. With the shot clock going down to 30 seconds, it's important to have guards that are capable. You put the ball in their hands and you can set a high flat ball screen or put them in space and for them to be able to make a play. And he's definitely a guy that can do that. He also has an ability to raise up and shoot over top of guys. With his bounce, he can create some space to be able to get a quality shot, especially when it's shot clock time. Definitely going to be huge for us offensively.
The way last year ended, do you have a sense of hunger from these guys? I want to really see some improvement.
They are. They were really disappointed, and we were as a staff. We had a run there in the middle of ACC play where we were really good, won 4 straight, and then the end of the season it didn't end the way that we wanted it to. And like I said, we have a competitive group led by Jerron Blossom Game. He's our leader. Landry Noko's another big-time leader for us. But, JB's approach in the offseason was as good as I've ever seen. And I think it goes back to how we finished the season. He had a bad taste in his mouth, and he raised guys' levels up. The young guys that came in, they understood from day one this is how we work. And the guys that were coming back, they understood we're not going to settle for the way that we finished last season. And, JB really led that charge. So I definitely think our veteran guys who haven't had a chance to go to the NCAA tournament yet, they want to get there. They want to go out on the right note.
Jordan Roper being another veteran guy, is he a guy with what he's been through that he can be a leader as well?
He has. He leads in a different way. Those other two guys are a little bit more demonstrative. Jordan is more of a guy that, you know, he gives guys confidence because he's always encouraging, leads by example a little more. He's not as vocal. But the progression he's had in the offseason has been really good. You know, for Jordan, he's always a guy that can run around and make shots. He's a great athlete. He makes explosive plays. But defensively, he's taken that next step and added some toughness. And in off-season workouts, he's shown that he's going to be tougher. You know, he's going to compete harder. And I've been really proud of him. I work with the guards, and so I work with him a ton. And, you know, he's been a guy, he's one of our most improved guys all the way around. Not only, you know, skill-wise, but his demeanor has changed. I think you guys will see that. He's going to have more of an edge and play like that.
Seems like, just like you mentioned with Grantham, Rover's also been another guy that's struggled with consistency. Had a slow start last season, but there were games that he just took over. Do you expect to see more consistency with him as well?
He was unbelievable. Virginia Tech here, Boston College here, NC State on the road. That stretch was ACC Player of the Week. I think if you go back in the history books, we've not had a ton of ACC Players of the Week at Clemson, and that was a huge honor for him. But you know, you're exactly right. He had some dips. You know, similar to Dante, he had some dips, and I think the consistency will improve because of the edge that he's playing with right now. You know, he's a guy, he's a senior, he's had a good career, and he wants to go out with an NCAA tournament and try to make a deep run, and he's shown that with his urgency. And by urgency, you know, I mean, he's in the gym working. He's pushing guys to be better. So I definitely think the consistency will be there from Jordan this year.
What have you seen from the two transfer guys so far?
Been really good. Been really good. And we felt like that when we got them. You know, in college basketball now, the transfer market with over 600 to 700 each year, it's something in recruiting you have to adjust to. And it's something that moving forward we're going to do a little bit more of probably. If it's the right one, it has to be right. And both these guys are right. You know, with Shelton Mitchell, he comes in, he had over 100 assists at Vanderbilt last year as a freshman. And true point guard. With his speed, ability to get downhill, and his size, he's going to add another dimension to what we do next year, help us play a little bit faster. You know, he's going to work on his jump shot, keep improving that. But the thing that people don't understand is he's not a bad shooter. He just doesn't take a ton of them. So he's going to keep improving his confidence with that regard. Marquise Reed is a guy that, you know, a lot of people slept on out of high school. You know, he went to Robert Morris, which was one of only 3 lower to mid-level offers that he had. And he showed that he belonged at this level. So he's came in really hungry, and his ability to score is, I mean, it's a special thing. It's a weird deal. He's one of these guys, I say, just has a knack for scoring. Finds a way to put the ball in the basket, whether it's his mid-range game, shoots the 3 better than what you think, and unbelievable getting to the rim with crafty finishes. Both those guys are going to be impact guys for us next year. We're excited to see where their games go, you know, during this sit-out.
How much of an impression did Marquise make when he played against you last December? I think he had like 19 points. He had a good game. What did he do that left a lasting impression?
Had 21 points. If the sucker wouldn't have gotten foul trouble, it was going to be hard. Like, he played like 24 minutes, was 9 of 14 from the field, and we struggled to guard him. And we're one of the best defensive teams in the country, you know, from percentages and just traditionally. And we struggled to guard him. And part of that's because he scores on all 3 levels. I mean, he's an unbelievable mid-range shooter, great at using his bounce to create space, shoots the 3 really well, and can attack and get to the free throw line and finish with size and size. I mean, we really struggled with him. So when we found out he was leaving after the season, it was a no-brainer that we needed to go after him. And, you know, thankfully we were able to get him. I think he'll be a special player here for 3 years.
Having all these returning veterans who are stepping up as leaders, how huge is that just from a continuity standpoint?
It's huge. You know, I touched on Jerron a little bit, but it's all of our older guys. I mean, Josh Smith's a really good leader for us. Landry Noko, Jordan Roper. You know, these guys are Clemson guys too. I think that's huge. They understand the culture that Coach Brownell's instilled here, and they love Clemson. So their pride and their urgency to want to do well for Clemson, for the guys on our team, is unbelievable. So having all these guys back with the experience they've had playing in big games is going to be huge for us this season.